So today we're going to talk about displacement. And so displacement, the definition is the amount of fluid that is pushed away when an object is placed in it. Okay? Have you all heard about that book about that bird that wanted to get some water and he couldn't because the water was at the bottom of the vase and he couldn't get his beak in? So what he did is he went and took these grapes or marbles and put them in the vase. So gradually the water rose to the top. Okay? That's what displacement is. What he did by doing that is he put those grapes or those marbles in there. And so gradually he pushed the water to the very top. And so that's what displacement is. Okay? It's kind of like when you're filling up like a soap dispenser. You don't fill the soap all the way to the top because when you put the plunger in, the soap's going to spill. Okay? So displacement, there's an example of what displacement looks like. And so if you notice before, look at my dimensions here. 10 by 15. My next one, the dimensions are 10 by 15, but notice by putting the object in, the water rose 2 centimeters. So the water was displaced. So by knowing the fact how much the water was displaced, I can actually find the volume of that object. So now what we're going to do is we're going to talk about something known as density and mass. Density is the mass of matter in a given volume. Okay? Density is the mass of matter in a given volume.
And some TV show, some like crime scene show my parents watch, they did that in a bathtub. Like someone died in a bathtub there.
Really?
Yeah, they figured out how big the person was.
Okay.
That's science.
And so the density is the mass of matter in a given volume. The mass is found by weighing the material. So basically when we think about the mass, we think about the weight. Okay. So when you think about the mass of an object, you can think about the weight. So in order to find the densities, we're going to take the mass divided by the volume. Okay, so density equals mass, or the weight divided by volume. So let's go and look at this here. It says a clump of metal with mass 351.4 grams is dropped into a cylindrical container, causing the water level to rise 1.1 centimeters. The radius of the base of the container is 3 centimeters. What is the density of the metal? Given the table and assuming the metal is pure, what is the metal? So density equals what? So density equals mass over volume. So we already know what the mass is. What's the mass? 351.4. So now what I need to do is find the volume. And so in order to find the volume, I've got to find out how much water was displaced because then that'll be the corresponding volume. And so when I think about that, I have a cylindrical tank. Okay. Here is my radius, which is 3.0. And so what ends up happening is I have water right here. I put the object in, and the water goes up 1.1 centimeters. So that volume of that water that was displaced can be found by taking pi times 3 squared times 1.1. Okay, now where did that come from? Area of the base times the height. Yep, how much it rose, the height. So go ahead and calculate that for me. What is pi times 9 times 1.1? It came out to be 31.10.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and plug in 31.10 right here. So what is 351.4 divided by 31.1? 11.29, and so that is the density. And so now what we need to do is we need to compare that to this chart. And so what was dropped in to the cylindrical container? Lead at 11.30. What is the metal? Lead. So far so good? Alrighty. what we're going to do is go ahead and your assignment is found on this, and then we're going to go ahead and get started on your assignment. So it's page 552 through 553, 1 through 8. Okay, let's go ahead and look at number 1. Okay, number 1 says the following. When you put a rock in a container of water, it raises the water level 3 centimeters. If the container is a rectangular prism whose base measures 15 centimeters by 15 centimeters, what is the volume of the rock? Okay. So, how do I go about solving that?
Find the line of the
Yep, and then?
and then,
Oh, you take the base
Yep, 15 by 15,
times the change in water level.
which is what?
3.
3. This is how much the water level's changed. Okay. So, 15 times 15 times 3 is
675.
675 centimeters cubed. Nope, because it's a rectangular prism.
Wait, that's the answer?
That's your answer. Okay? Alrighty, so now what you need to do is 2 through 8.